Now, Skid, before I go through this, when you went through pilot training, did everybody fly T-38s or did
Yeah.
they have?
So, when I got to pilot training at Williams in Arizona, oh, great place. It's called universally assignable pilot training. So you went through T-37, T-38s, and then your grades determine if you're going to heavies or going to fighters or
Right.
bombers.
Right. So this just came out. So newly trained Air Force pilots must consider jobs outside of flying fighters or bombers due to manning shortfall. So
Yep.
if
Yep.
you kind of read through, right? So the service is 1,800-ish pilots short.
Yep.
1,100 of those fighter pilots. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Basically, if you read through the article, it just says that due to the needs of the Air Force, you may end up not flying a fighter or a bomber. You may have to go to something else,
Yep.
some C-17 tanker,
Yep.
what have you. And
Yep.
the thinking about, I mean, the T1's kind of going away too.
Yes.
As well,
Yes.
and the T7 is not quite here. So I would anticipate this. It wouldn't surprise me if this became the old way became the new way
Yep.
in the
Yep.
interim.
Mhm.
And I kind of want to reiterate what Ammo was saying, because this article made make them tell Facebook page, which, like we were saying, Peaches is super heavy with guys and gals just trying to get in.
Yep.
And Ammo made a really good point, and it is basically, do your absolute best. If you're the number one T-38 guy and they send you to the strato tanker, Debbie Downer for sure. But
Yeah, big time.
do the best that you can in there, which is going to get you the best opportunity to later in life transfer back over to fighters, which it does mention that in the article. But when I read, if I was a student and I read that article, I was like, yeah, in the future you can transfer back over to fighters, I'd be like,
it's very hard to do.
It's like, yeah, exactly. Because you have to go back and do IFF, and there's all kinds of money timeline issues with careers. But
True.
Peaches, they never did anything like that in the Navy, right? They never took T-45 guys that were doing good and, hey, we need some helo guys.
No, I mean, there were times where there were no fighter spots for selections or whatever. I know there were routes where they were overmanned in the fighter pilot community. So even if you had fighter grades, you may go fly something else. But the Marine Corps, though, I know that the Marine Corps used to take their fighter pilots. I mean, they get done with the RAG, and at the time, Operation Iraqi Freedom was full on, and so they would literally take them out of the RAG and put them on a FAC tour on the ground. Literally from
that hurts.
Getting qualified in the F-18 to go in and being a JFAC or a FAC on the ground with an infantry unit. And one of my close buddies, that actually happened to him
for like a year, right? Wasn't it for like a year
long? And he wanted.
Oh my God!
And I think it was Fallujah for almost a year. So
wow.
Yeah, it's good. Then they got to come back.
Yeah,
they got to get requalified. I mean, it's and it's not like they had a ton of when you go through. You remember the first time you go through A-10, it's all kind of a blur.
Yeah,
you're just trying to make it to tomorrow. So
we had the same problem in Korea. Our lieutenants would come from RTU, the RAG, brand new minted lieutenants. They get to Osan, and then several of them would have to go up north and be Balos. And they're flying battalion ALOs, working with the Army, because the Air Force and Army work together to drop bombs. Who's the Navy you work with? Your frogs? Who do you work with? The SEALs or somebody?
Yeah, SEALs.
Well, we did SEALs, killers. So these poor lieutenants, love them, and they'd go up there, and we bring it back, give them like one sortie. So it took for your year remote tour, like our Navy deployment, carrier deployment. They have to like work 6 months to get get their MR check, basically get mission ready, qualified to fly the A-10, while doing this Balo stuff back and forth. Which it's like those guys getting their feet pulled out from underneath them for a year. It sucks, but you signed up for it. You're going to do it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Peaches, remember we had that terrible saying, the needs of the Navy. Never again volunteer yourself, because you might succumb to the needs of the Navy, right?
Yeah. Wow. We actually, believe it or not, when I was at the weapons school, we had one of our weapons school instructors. I'll never forget this. He showed up to the weapons school, and at the time it was called an IA, or individual augmentation. Yes. They took him off. I mean, he just graduated Top Gun, and they sent him over to Iraq to be like convoy support or something.
I remember when that happened.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. A naval or a pilot, whatever, an aviator going to do ground duties.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, at the time they were.
What?
Skid, I did one.
He was attached to an Army squadron.
What?
Individual augmentation is what it was called.
Sid, so what happened was,
God.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, prior to, the global war on terror, the Army never really deployed, right? So then we kicked off 20 years of moving sand around in the desert, and the Army was deploying all the time. Well, eventually they got burned out and broken. So then, like Peaches is saying, the naval leadership at times like, we can help. So they would tag pilots to go help the Army. I mean, I did it. I went to CENTCOM and helped out at CENTCOM. So I got all
Tampa? Down in
Tampa?
Tampa?
Well, I was
in Tampa.
Yes, but I was lucky.
You were deployed to Tampa?
It was a good deal. I was lucky.
Busch Gardens.
I was lucky. I made a ton of money, and I did not have to go overseas. But dude, they sent me to all the training. I had to go to Fort Jackson. I had to pick up all my brass, right? So I shooting hundreds and hundreds of rounds. Really? And a lot of the guys that I was with, they were like Peaches is saying, they were going to, man a truck convoy or something. So
you're flying an F-18 and now you're driving a Humvee. Are you kidding me?
Actually, I was the 50 cal gunner on the Humvee. He's the first to die, I was told.
Remember Rat Patrol?
Yeah, dude. So so that's what they were doing back then. And I remember.
I don't believe it.
I remember
incredible
when they took the Top Gun guy.
I need to see pictures, Gonky.
I'm me sitting in front of my nipper and supercomputer and CENTCOM drinking coffee. But I don't know if they're still doing that anymore. But dude, Thanks,
C-130 rolling down strip.
Yeah. Well, the only bad part about the whole taking 38 guys is when they selected 38, in their mind, they're going bomber or fighter, and I can see this being kind of a morale crusher. So,
what?
Yeah, big time. It would be for me. It's like
the same thing happened, guys, with the UAV assignments. Do you remember that? You don't remember that?
Yeah.
Air Force guys get to pilot training, and they give them, these guys go through pilot training. They get their 38, or they get the end. Oh, this guy got a UAV to Tucson or something, and the kid's like walk across the stage. He's gonna be in the UAV forever. He's never going to a flying job. He's gonna stay in the UAV forever. So that happened for like 2 years. I mean, have your soul drained from your body.
Yeah.
When you think you're gonna be singing a trailer for next 10 years.
That'd be pretty bad.
That's bad.
Yeah. Awesome.
So it's all about your timing and doing the right thing, and hopefully you're not that guy they shack for the bad deal.